Andrei Rene Rousimov was born on the 19th of May 1946 in Koulami, Synod Mariner, to immigrants Boris and Marianne Rousimov. Andrei had 2 older and 2 younger siblings, and at birth weighed a whopping 6 kilograms, or 13 pounds. According to Andrei, he started to participate in sports when he was 9 years old, playing soccer for 4 years, boxing and doing rugby for 2 seasons. Although numerous articles state that he was 6'3" tall and over 240 pounds by the time he was 12 years old, according to his brothers he was of a normal size until he was 15, at which point he started to grow rapidly. Andrei would help his father on the family farm and attended school, where he was said to be average in most subjects but good at mathematics. He finished his compulsory school education at 14 years old, but knew he didn't want to work on the farm, so started working in various jobs. When he was 18 years old, Andrei relocated to Paris, where he started to be taught professional wrestling by a local promoter at night and would support himself by working as a furniture mover during the day. Andrei made his professional wrestling debut on the 25th of January 1966 and would go on to make his television debut just 2 weeks later. Wrestling under the ring name John Ferrer, he was billed at a height of 6'10.5" and a weight of 308 pounds. Later in the year, John Ferrer had become a regular on national TV and soon began making a name for himself wrestling in the United Kingdom, Germany, Australia, New Zealand and Africa. And it's while Andrei signed with the International Wrestling Enterprise in 1970, for whom he made his Japanese debut later that year under the ring name Monster Rosimov. It was during his time in Japan that doctors first informed Andrei that he suffered from acromegaly, a condition where the pituitary gland produces excessive growth hormone that was the cause of his giantism. In the years that followed, Andrei was offered but declined treatment to cure his acromegaly. The following year, Andrei moved to Montreal, Canada, where he initially became a success, but after several months of performing at the same arena, the novelty of his size wore off and ticket sales dwindled. In 1973, Vincent J. McMahon suggested that Andrei should be portrayed as a large immovable monster. Andrei went on to make his Worldwide Wrestling Federation debut on the 24th of March 1973 as Andre the Giant. From this time onwards, Andrei's height would be built at least 224 centimetres or 7 foot 4 inches. However, his official height listed in his passport and US immigration paperwork is 218 centimetres or just under 7 foot 2 inches. Many people have since speculated that his real height, especially in the later stages of his career, was slightly under 7 feet. But regardless of what his actual height was, there's no disputing that Andrei was a giant of a man. The following year, Andrei Rosimov was featured in the 1974 Guinness Book of World Records as the then highest paid wrestler in history, with an annual salary of approximately $400,000. In 1976, Andrei fought professional boxer Chuck Wepner in an unscripted boxer v wrestler match, and ended when he threw Wepner over the top rope and outside of the ring to win via a count out. Over the following years, Andrei was involved in a marketing stunt that reportedly showed him performing feats of strength. The first of these was to take a metal bar that, in the words of the commentator, was one of the widest bars ever made that no ordinary man could bend. Andrei proceeds to snap the bar, but at one point the end of the bar is seen on camera, and in fact shows that it is hollow and made of very thin material. Andrei proceeds to take half of the bar that he had snapped and use it as a handle to deadlift what is claimed to be a 2,000 pound weight. And even as of today, several publications still quote this act as a genuine feat of strength. Over the years, Andrei had been unofficially crowned the greatest drunk on earth, and during an interview with David Letterman that took place on the 23rd of January 1984, he confirmed that he once drunk 117 beers in one sitting, but later stated in the show that he quit drinking beer 14 months prior to the interview. Andrei went on to say that prior to quitting beer he weighed a mammoth 254 kilograms or 560 pounds, but since then his weight had dropped to 470. After purchasing the WWF from his father in 1982, Vince McMahon began to expand his newly acquired promotion to a national level and required the wrestlers to appear exclusively for him. McMahon signed Andre to these terms in 1984, although he still allowed him to work in Japan for New Japan Pro Wrestling until 1986, when Andre would wrestle exclusively for the World Wrestling Federation. After competing at WrestleMania 2, Andre requested a leave of absence to tend to his health, since the effects from his acromegaly were beginning to take their toll, as well as to tour Japan. He was also cast in the film The Princess Bride. Later in the summer of 1986, upon Andre's return to the United States, he began wearing a mask and competing as the Giant Machine, but the gimmick wasn't fooling the fans and Andre the Giant made his return later in the year. WrestleMania 3 was held on the 29th of March 1987. The progression of Andre's acromegaly and immense weight on his bones and joints had resulted in constant pain, and following recent back surgery, Andre had to wear a brace beneath his wrestling singlet. On the 5th of February 1988, Andre the Giant defeated Hulk Hogan in the main event to become the WWF World Heavyweight Champion. As his health continued to decline, Andre's appearances became more sporadic. His final WWF match of 1990 came at a combined WWF All Japan and New Japan show on the 13th of April in Tokyo, Japan. Andre made his long-awaited return to the ring on the 26th of April 1991, but his return would only last just over 6 months when he made his final WWF appearance at a house show in Paris, France on the 9th of October. Andre would go on to briefly wrestle for All Japan Pro Wrestling until the final match of his career on the 4th of December 1992. A few weeks later, Andre travelled to France to attend his father's funeral. While there, he decided to extend his trip to be with his mother on her birthday and would play cards with his friends on the 27th of January. He returned to his hotel room that evening, where he sadly passed away during his sleep from congestive heart failure that was likely caused by his acromegaly. But how strong was Andre the Giant? And this is slightly more difficult to answer than normal because it's well known that Andre rarely lifted weights. However, we can turn to some very good anecdotal evidence from reliable sources. The first of these comes from an article written by Dr. Terry Todd in Sports Illustrated, in which Terry highlights how Andre's proportions are good indicators of his strength. This includes the circumference of Andre's wrists, which at almost 12 inches are larger than most men's ankles. His hands are absolutely huge even when compared to other large men such as Brock Lesnar. And finally, the length of Andre's torso in proportion to his legs, which is advantageous for the squat and the deadlift. Later in the article, Terry asked the 4-time US weightlifting champion and world's strongest man competitor Ken Patera his opinion, who believes that if Andre took a couple of years away from wrestling to train like the top lifters do, he could break the powerlifting, squat and deadlift world records. Ken goes on to say that Andre was a relatively lean 500 pounds in body weight and believes that if he had lifted weights and used some chemical assistance he would have weighed somewhere between 600 and 700 pounds. Andre's former trainer and manager Frank Valois describes how Andre liked to play jokes on his friends by lifting and repositioning their carts while they were dining. Frank goes on to say that he's never seen a man with the raw strength of Andre. In a later interview with the Los Angeles Times, Frank said that Andre was the strongest man in the world. Frank describes how on one occasion a guy had a flat tyre, and Andre just lifted the car up while he changed the wheel. Later in the article, the Los Angeles Times spoke with Andre's former ranch hand called Bernard, who describes how he needed to administer some medicine to one of the cattle. Bernard said the cow weighed more than 1,200 pounds. Andre put one arm around the cow's neck and grabbed a post. And many wrestlers who have worked with Andre have commented about his incredible strength, including from Jake the Snake during this interview with Joe Rogan.
Well, I clotheslined Andre one night, and I came in to him hard because Andre wanted you to hit him hard.
Right.
Yeah. So here I am hitting him as hard as I could, and he didn't know that. I mean, he used to hit me, and I'd be falling, right? That's a lot of energy, me falling. He'd reach out and grab me by my hair and just zing.
The final piece of evidence comes from Tony Atlas, who during an interview with Boston Wrestling, for which I've left a link in the description, said the following.
He was so big and so strong, I seen Andre turn over a cart. I seen him backhand a guy right here in Boston, in Chinatown, y'all call it. And the guy kept messing Andre. Andre just swatted him just like this. Knocked him out.
When considering Andre's huge size and proportions as described by Terry Todd, and the stories regaled by his former colleagues and powerlifters, there is little doubt that Andre possessed extraordinary natural strength. If we also consider that Andre didn't lift weights or use performance-enhancing drugs, it's probable that he would have been considerably bigger and stronger than he already was. And if his health permitted, he would have been capable of setting records in certain lifts. But as always, I'd like to hear your opinion, so please leave a comment below letting me know whether you believe Andre could have achieved a world record in a deadlift and squat. I've left credits along with social media links in the description below, so please check those out and give them a follow. And finally, if you enjoyed the video, please help to support my channel by smashing like, sharing the video, and if you haven't done so already, by subscribing. Thank you.